Hello everyone, this is Guru Charandas Hadapu, lecturer in Management, Government Degree College, Siddipeta, Autonomous. Today we are going to discuss about wireless wide area network. Uh, Wireless wide area network. Wireless wide area network, we call it as WWANS, were developed to allow communication through mobile phones. Since the establishment of the first mobile phone system, WWANs have rapidly grown. The major trends in WWAN evolution have been from analog to digital technology, from voice to data communication, and from circuit to packet switching. Wireless wide area network or WWAN or WWAN is a way to connect to the internet without wires, achieved using cellular tower technology. Cellular service companies such as Jio, Airtel offers this type of connection for a monthly fee or alternatively on a pay as you need it basis. Pay as you need it, we call it as prepaid, right? And WWAN is a wide WAN, and what we call it as wide area network, and the only thing is that the connectivity is wireless. It offers regional, national and global wireless coverage, where the wide area network can be wired or wireless. The wireless wide area network WWAN connections are completely wireless. Wireless local area network WLAN is different from wireless wide area network WWAN, right? In terms of technology, WLAN uses Wi-Fi to connect and transfer data. WWAN uses cellular telecommunication technology such as 2G, 3G, 4G, LTE, and 5G to transfer data. WLAN is sometimes referred to mobile broadband. If you see the slide, you will find how the WAN is connected and wireless networks are integrated. Whether you are traveling, salesperson, technician, remote worker, or just someone who needs to be online all the time, wireless okay WAN is the best solution. So how do you get it? When it comes to the question how do you get it, we will discuss here. A WWAN card is installed in your compatible laptop or comes with a WWAN card pre-installed. You will then receive a SIM card from your mobile operator that is linked to your mobile phone account. Your connection uses the data associated with your existing mobile plan. Okay, and WWAN connectivity enables a user within a laptop and a WWAN card to surf the internet, check emails, or connect to a virtual private network VPN, we call it as, from anywhere within the regional boundaries of the circular services. Okay, within the boundary of cellular services. When you turn on your laptop, the system tries to connect using a wired connection first, as this is always your best choice. After that, it will try to connect to wireless or Wi-Fi, your next best option. If these fails, the WWAN system then uses the cellular mobile connection to connect via SIM card. It all happens instantly and then you are connected. As an alternative to a WWAN card, it is okay WWAN card. It is possible to connect some cell phones directly to a laptop using USB Universal Series bus cable. The mobile phone acts as a modem to connect the laptop to the internet. This works only with certain phone models and tariffs, and the data transfer speed is slower than when connected to a WWAN card, that is WWAN card. Before using this method, users should check whether their mobile phone provider to see what changes might apply, if any. A typical WWAN has features. We call them as characteristics. WWAN connections are completely wireless. WWAN use cellular networks. WWAN has worldwide coverage. Data transfer speed is slow as compared to physical connections. It provides greater security than WLAN. WWAN ensures perfectly good performance until interrupted by any external agents. uh, any external agents like poor climate. WLAN is limited to mobile devices only. Uh, the cost of installation is more and setting the connection is easier. Uh, it has a lot of advantages also. We'll discuss here the global wireless. Uh, the global wireless coverage is possible. The data rates are usually low and are based on the usage by the user. Flexible with the cloud management, deploying and relocating. Better security than WLAN. Quick deployment for new applications are possible, and in remote locations it can be used as the primary gateway if wired connection seems expensive there. If we occasionally go to villages to meet our parents. Under those circumstances, if we need wired connection, they are expensive when compared with these wireless connections. However, in spite of all these advantages, we have a few disadvantages also. Disadvantages of WWAN: need a reliable network connection. Reduce throughout what we call it as throughput for large coverage areas. It offers less data rate compared to wired network. Replacement of lost WWAN, that is WLAN card, may be costly. And we move on to another slide, that is cellular system or cellular network. The cellular network or mobile network is a communication network in which the connection to and from end nodes is wireless. It is an underlying technology for mobile phones, personal communication systems, wireless networks, etc. Cellular networks use less power, shorter range, and more transmitter to transmit data. Okay. Cellular communication is a special type of wireless communication where geographical coverage area is divided into a number of hexagonal cells called cell sites. We call them as like honeybees comb, like it seems. The diameter of each cell site is typically 3 to 4 kilometer and may vary depending upon the population density of the surrounding region. At the center of each cell is a base station or cell tower, we can call it as, which acts as a transfer to send, receive signals, transfer and receive. That's why we call it as transfer signals to from mobile devices within its range. Each cell site is allotted a band of frequency for communication within its range, and for each frequency there is a corresponding antenna in the cell tower. The base station manages, sends and receives signals originated from mobile devices within the geographical location surrounding the base station. The shape of the cell site is made hexagonal so that the distance between the center of the any two adjacent cells remain constant, and also there is no gap or turnover uncovered area between two adjacent cells. Each base station is connected to a mobile telecommunication switching office. We call it as MTSO, usually by landline. The MTSO is connected to public switched telephone networks (PSTN) by landline and establishes connection between a landline phone connected to PSTN and a mobile phone via a base station, or between two mobile phones under two different base stations. Cellular networks are based on the concept of frequency reuse. As the signal of small handheld mobile devices falls off with distance, the same frequency band can be reused at widely separated cell sites without much interference. The entire coverage area of cellular network is divided into a number of non-overlapping cells, and a set of frequency band is assigned to each cell. Same set of frequency can be assigned to different cells which are widely separated from each other, so that there will be no intercell interference. This is known as frequency reuse, and improves the utilization of frequency spectrum considerably. Ideally, in order to maximize spectral efficiency, frequency reuse, the spatial distance between two cells using same frequency must be as small as possible. If you see the diagram, if you see the okay slide, you will find this cellular, how the cellular networks okay connected, and from base station MTSO and PSTN with mobile and landline. Okay, and another important feature of cellular network is cell handover or cell handoff. It deals with the switching of channel frequency of a mobile device as it moves from one cell site to another. The switching takes place automatically MTSO without any call interruption. As a moving mobile phone user moves towards the edge of the cell site, the receiving antenna of the base station of the cell site records a fall in signal strength coming from the device. At the same time, receiving antenna of the base station of the cell site towards which the mobile user is approaching records increasing signal strength. These two base stations will coordinate with the MTSO, and accordingly MTSO will send a signal to the mobile device to switch to the new channel frequency at the approaching cell site. This process continues from one cell site to another cell site. Mobile user moves from one geographic location to another. This system works for local smaller distance traveling. For longer distance travel, special arrangements are made to uh, facilitate roaming services. Cellular networks have become extremely popular, and almost all major mobile phone networks are cellular. They allow maximum utilization of channel frequency through frequency reuse and provide uninterrupted roaming service through cell handover. Uh, Today, digital cellular system provide two-way voice, data, audio, and video communication with regional, national, and international coverage. However, cellular networks suffer from several security threats, such as virus attacks, phishing attacks, and hacker attacks, which tends to disrupt the normal functioning of the mobile phones or gain unauthorized access to private data. Proper security arrangements in the form of antivirus firewall or encryption techniques must be adopted to combat such security threats. And we move on to characteristics of cellular networks. When we okay see the slide, cellular networks were developed as an alternative to high power receiver transmitter systems for mobile systems, wireless networks, and personal area networks. Cellular networks consist of a number of hexagonal cell sites distributed over a geographical region. The size of hexagonal cells is typically 5 kilometers but may vary depending upon the population of the area. For example, in a less populated region, the cell size will be larger as there will be a less number of users per cell. And another characteristic is cellular networks use short range and low power transmitter for communication. Their communication always happens between a mobile and a base station, no direct mobile to mobile communication. Each base station has a dedicated collection of radio channels or frequencies within a cell. A cell covers a particular geographic area. As the coverage area is limited to a particular cell, these radio channels frequencies can be reused between various cells. This is called frequency reuse. Cellular networks manage interference level in tolerance, and we have advantages this cellular system we will discuss here. It is flexible enough to use the features and functions of almost all public and private networks. It consumes less power. It can be distributed to longer coverage area. It reduces interference from other signals. more robust against the failure of signal component, high capacity. Disadvantages of cellular systems: good infrastructure needed, frequency planning should be good, increase the number of antenna in each of the base station, handover is needed. Cellular mobile network have gone through different generations such as 1G, 2G, 3, 2.5G, 3G, 4G and 5G with different technologies, analog voice, digital voice and data. Right, first we will discuss 1G. Okay, a network. Okay, we'll go through the first generation, different generations of cellular and mobile networks. We'll discuss 1G mobile. 1G refers to the first generation of wireless cellular technology mobile telecommunications. These are the analog telecommunication standards that were introduced in the year 1980s and continued until being replaced by 2G digital communications. The main difference between these two mobile cellular generations is that the audio transmission of 1G network were analog and while 2G networks were entirely digital. They offered wireless voice communication using cellular technology and employed analog radio signals to connect to base station towers from the mobile handheld devices. 1G networks were all analog for voice communication and suffered from high level of interference, poor handoffs, and almost no security. The device also had to be quite large to incorporate the radio receivers necessary to capture the analog signals. 1G systems were bulky analog systems and soon become obsolete with advent of digital technology and more advanced 2G systems. Advantages of 1G networks compared to earlier phones which required wire connections to the telephone network. 1G mobile phone gave users true mobility for the first time, allowing people to take phones outdoors and in cars. 1G supports voice calls, improve voice clarity. The network uses the analog signals, consume less battery power. Disadvantages of 1G: poor voice quality, large phone size, poor battery life, and no security, limited capacity, very low speed. Analog signals were prone to interferences, so the communication was noisy. In 2G network, 2G second generation, we call it as cellular system, introduced digital communication technology to digitize voice signals in order to improve the transmission quality as well as to achieve higher bandwidth at lower cost in the earlier 1990s. The advantage of high-speed digital signal processing DSP capability was the gateway to the use of 2G technology. Digital signals resulted in better quality voice with less interference. Filters were used to remove the interference noise in digital signals. Additionally, digital network provided the means of stronger security which was missing in the 1G analog network. 2G systems incorporated digital encryption technique to various data services such as SMS text messaging, etc., and thus enhanced the security of the network. The 2G operators also offered some services that were not in 1G, such as voicemail, call waiting, caller ID, and so forth. Most of all 2G systems started offering some basic data services for mobile, starting with SMS text messages. Due to their inefficient performance, expensive uh, charges, and limited data rates, 2G systems are inadequate for data-driven applications. It has a few advantages. 2G network, that is, it allows voice signals to be digitized and composed. They introduced data services for mobile in the form of SMS text messaging. Data and voice signals are digitally encrypted. Digital signals consumed less battery power. Disadvantage, apart from these advantages, we have few disadvantages also. One is unable to handle complex data such as videos requiring strong digital signals. If digital signals would weak, that there would be no network coverage in the particular area. The different 2G network technologies are distributed below. These 2G will have CDMA, okay, and Another what we call it as TDMA technologies. Okay, different networks technologies that are available at 2G second generation is CDMA. CDMA stands for Code Division Multiple Access. CDMA is a channel access method used by several radio communication technologies. Several radio communication technologies. Okay, and CDMA. Okay, CDMA is a form of multiplexing. It allows multiplex signals to occupy signal transmission channels, optimizing the use of available bandwidth. Here, multiple access basically means that several transmitters can send information simultaneously over a single communication channel. It allows more users to connect at a base at a given time, and thus provides improved data and voice communication capacity. CDMA system make the use of power control to eliminate their interference and noise and to thus improve the network quality. CDMA system have a soft capacity. Thus there is no particular limit to the number of users in a CDMA system, but with increase in the number of users the performance degrades. Advantage of when we come to advantage of CDMA, in CDMA data is not decoded easily because it has given different codes to each individual, and hence it increases cellular communication security. CDMA consumes less power, and CDMA systems have comparatively fewer dropouts and than GSM. Thus it can also be used in rural areas. The cost of all the calls in CDMA is lower compared to the cost of GSM. CDMA consistently provides better capacity for voice and data communications, allowing more subscribers to connect at any given time. CDMA provides a high quality of voice with most no noise during calls. It can share the same bandwidth with a large number of users. Using CDMA, problems like multipath and fading do not occur. Disadvantage of when it comes to disadvantage of CDMA lacks the facility of international roaming, which is provided by GSM. Since there is no limit to the number of users, the system performance degrades with an increase in the number of users. Since most of the mobile companies use GSM, thus there is a lack of handsets for CDMA technology, higher cost due to greater equipment. And when it comes to TDMA stands for Time Division Multiple Access. TDMA is a digital cellular telephone communication technology. It allows users to share the same frequency channel by dividing the signals into different time slots. The users transmit the rapid succession on one after the other, each using its own time slot. This allows multiple stations to share the same transmission medium radio frequency channel, that is example, while using only a part of its channel capacity. TDMA is a type of time division multiplexing. TDM we call it as, with the special point that instead of having one transmitter connected to one receiver, there are multiple transmitters. Advantage of when it comes to advantage of TDMA can easily adapt to the transmission of data as well as voice communication. TDMA separates users according to time, ensures that there will be no interference from the simultaneous transmission. TDMA is cost effective. TDMA shares single carrier's frequency with multiple users. TDMA has an ability to carry 64 kbps to 120 mbps of data rates. However, in spite of all these advantages, a few disadvantages are also there. One of the disadvantages of TDMA technology is that the user has a predefined time slot when moving from one site to another. If all the time slots in the cell are full, the user might be disconnected. It is subject to multipath distortion. A signal coming from a tower and being received by a handheld device can come from one of several directions, so the street signal will bounce of several different buildings before it arrives, which can cause interference. And third type of okay uh, technology that is offered by 2G is GSM. GSM stands for Global System for Mobile Communication. It is a standard developed by the European Telecommunication Standard Institute. We call it as ETSI to describe protocol for second generation 2G digital cellular networks. A user can connect his GSM enabled phones with his laptop to send or receive emails, faxes, browsers, internet, and check security, etc. GSM is basically an open digital cellular radio network, operates in almost all countries. It is not only used for voice calls but also for data computing, the next text messages. While CDMA code division multiple access doesn't support all calls and data computing at the same time. One of the unique features of GSM system is the SIM, which is a removable smart card that contains the following information such as phone number, status of SIM, service code, authentication key, personal identification number, we call it as PIN, and personal unlock code, PUK. PUC. A, a, a user can easily remove a SIM card from the mobile device and insert it into any other GSM compatible device to receive the same type of services. GSM is the dominant cellular standard today, with half of the world population subscribing to it. In India, Vodafone, Airtel, BSNL, GSM services are offering. Advantage of GSM: and GSM is extremely secured because its devices and facilities cannot easily duplicated. It has an extensive coverage in all over the world. Advanced features such as short messages, caller ID, call hold, call forwarding, etc., compatible with integrated services, digital network, and other telephone company services. It is highly secure and facilities cannot be duplicated as all the information is stored on a SIM card. It is compatible with a wide range of devices and accessories. It allows users use of voice calls and data at the same time. Unlike CDMA technology, it is easy to maintain GSM networks due to availability of large number of network engineers at affordable cost. It is easy to integrate GSM with other wireless technology based devices such as CDMA, LTE. GSM signals doesn't have any deterioration. Disadvantages of GSM: the biggest disadvantage of GSM is the multiple users share the same bandwidth. This may cause interference, and due to uh, interference, bandwidth limitations occurs. The other disadvantage of GSM is that it may cause electronic interference. That is the reason why sensitive locations like hospitals and airplanes require cell phones to be turned off, otherwise, it can create interference with the equipment of hospitals and airplanes. In order to increase the coverage, repeats are required to be installed. And 2.5G network is also there, where 2.5 generation in between 2G and 3G. Data applications on 2G works are typically text based with limited graphics due to the highest cost building a 3G network. 2.5 networks provide an intermediate step during the evolution of 3G. The 2.5G networks can be deployed on existing 2G SIMs with higher data rates and lower costs. 2.5G systems accommodate more users on the same network through more efficient module algorithms and multiplexing. The 2.5 services technologies are discussed here are GPRS. GPRS stands for General Packet Radio Services. GPRS is an enhancement of GSM system that supports internet data services based on packet transmission. Packet-based services can be utilized network resources more efficiently as the bandwidth can accommodate multiple users simultaneously by employing packet transmitter trunking. It has advantages, that is before that the services offered by GPRS are SMS messaging, broadcasting, push to talk over cellular, instant messaging, multimedia messaging service, point to point and point to multiple point services. When it comes to advantages, mobility, the ability to keep the constant voice and information interchange while the moving, and cost effective communication via GPRS is cheaper than through the regular GSM network. Proximity allows customers to obtain connectivity when needed. Localization enable customers to acquire data applicable to their present area. High bandwidth, GPRS based on high bandwidth support voice and data calls together. In spite of all these advantages, a few disadvantages of GPS is a network can be affected when the large number of users in the same area utilize the GPRS service at the same time. The data rate supported by GPRS is lower than the data rate of the latest wireless standard like LTE 4G. Troubleshooting is difficult. It can have high frequency latency, we call it as, especially text messaging. And another is edge. When edge stands for enhanced data rates for GSM evolution, edge technology, also termed as enhanced GPRS, is an extended version of GSM which provides a higher rate of data transmission than normal GSM. It is high speed wireless data service that can deliver a speed of up to 384 kbps using all GSM channels. Edge is a digital mobile phone technology, but GPRS is a mobile data service. To utilize the service of Edge, both the phone and network should support Edge. Else the phone will automatically revert to GPRS. However, to avail GSM services, you only need to have the appropriate network without worrying about the handset you choose. Right? Advantage of Edge, when it comes to it, has higher data transmission speed than GSM. It is an always on connection. It is more reliable and efficient. It is cost efficient also. However, in spite of these advantages, we have few disadvantages also. It consumes more battery. Edge devices may require more hardware and software for optimal performance. And we move on to another is third generation network, 3G network. 3G is the third generation of wireless mobile telecommunication technology that provides higher speed bandwidth, high data to mobile devices. It is the upgrade of our 2.5G GPRS and 2.75 Edge networks for faster data transfer. 3G systems first appeared in 2000 and employed advanced communication techniques to support multimedia and internet services such as mobile TV, video calls, video conferencing, and high-speed internet access anytime, anywhere under seamless mobile environment. 3G systems follow IMT 2000 International Mobile Telecommunication 2000 specifications defined by the International Telecommunication Union, ITU we call it as. Advantages of, when it comes to advantages of 3G networks, the customers will get high speed network for their telecommunications, which is far better than 2G technology, particularly in data communication. Multimedia services are available, more bandwidth, secure and reliable in uninterrupted video streaming on phones, extremely faster than previous networks. In spite of these advantages, a few disadvantages also there. One is power consumption is high, need 3G compatibility handset, the cost of cellular infrastructure, upgrade base station is very high. The different 3G service technologies are, one is WCDMA or UMTS we call it as. It is WCDMA 3G system was first offered in 2001 in Europe, Japan, China, and where 2G GSM system were established. WCDMA means wideband code division multiple access encoding technology, and all is also known as Universal Mobile Telecommunication System. We call it as UMTS. UMTS follows 3GPP third generation partnership project. We call it as specification that is based on evolved with GSM. And different 3D technologies we see, that is FDD, right, frequency division duplex we call it as, and mode and time division duplex mode. Okay, different modes of operations that are available WCDM is FDD mode and TDD mode. When we see that division duplication FDD, in frequency division duplication mode, two different frequency bands are used for uplink and downlink transmissions. For any connection, a pair of frequency bands with specific separate is allocated to the user. Uh, when it comes to time division duplex, TDD, we call it as, both the uplink and downlink transmissions are carried over some frequency band but in separate synchronized time intervals. The time slot in a physical channel is divided into two transmission and reception parts. When it comes to characteristics of WCDMA, support high-speed data transmission, 384 kbps for moving vehicle and 2 mbps for stationary users. Supports both FDD, TDD modes, highly flexible. Right, and second CDMA 2000. This is the 3G system evolved from CDMA technology, first appeared in 2002 in North America and South Korea. We move on to fourth and fifth generation. Fourth generation network, fourth generation mobile phones provide broadband cellular network services, and in successor to 3G mobiles to 3G mobile networks, it represents an upgrade from 3G by addressing the two major issues with the platform speed and network congestion. 4G system, wireless mobile communication system that follow IMT, advanced international mobile telecommunication advanced specifications, and offer 100 mbps data rate for mobile users and 1 gbps, that is 1000 mbps data rate for stationary users. Instead of CDMA or TDMA, 4G system employ uh, OFDMA, that is orthogonal frequency division multiple access, we call it as. Right, and 4G facilities ultra broadband internet access, IP telephony, streaming, multimedia and gaming applications available in mobile devices with much higher speed and reliability compared to 3G systems. When it comes to advantages of 4G, high speed, much faster than 3G, improved privacy, security, safety, high capacity, high bandwidth, tight network security, support for multimedia service, low transmission cost per bit, global access. Okay, in spite of all these advantages, we have few disadvantages also that 4G has. The battery use is more, need 4G compatible handset, power consumption is high, difficult to implement, expensive devices are required. Okay, and when it comes to technologies used for 4G services is LTE. LTE long-term evolution is an extension of 3G technology. It is a standard for high-speed mobile communication based on GSM, Edge, EMTS, HSPA technologies. The peak data rate for download is 100 mbps and upload is 50 mbps. LTE Advanced meets the specification of IMTA Advanced standards for 4G technology. Advantages of LTE: high speed, much faster than 3G. Okay, higher data rate achieved in both download and uplink. When it frequency division duplex, FDD, TDD, both schemes can be used on same platform. LTE also supports seamless connection. Data as well as voice can be exchanged between participants. High amounts of data can be transferred. All the exchange occurs very less. In spite of all these disadvantages of LTE is this technology cannot be used in old versions and smartphones. Buying new smartphones for LTE is costly for LTE being complex. WiMAX. WiMAX stands for Worldwide Interoperability of Microwave Access. WiMAX is a high quality wireless broadband internet. It is used to provide higher data rate with increased coverage. Typically, WiMAX system consists two parts: WiMAX base station, WiMAX receiver. Uh, WiMAX receiver. WiMAX base station consists indoor electronics and WiMAX tower. Typically, base station can cover up to 10 kilometers radius. WiMAX receiver, the receiver and antenna could be standalone box or PCMCA, CIA. that is Personal Computer Memory Card International Association card that sits in your laptop or computer. And advantage when it comes to a single location can serve hundreds of users, higher bandwidth, high coverage range, high speed can be achieved, lower cost, communication range up to 100 miles, does not require telephone lines, no SIM card required, non-line site connection. Disadvantage of WiMAX is poor bandwidth when serving lots of clients, big installation and operational cost, big power consumption, influence with other wireless signals. Yeah, and when it comes to 5G, fifth generation systems are next evolutionary mobile networks systems that will come after 4G systems. The standards is at present it's in the development stage. Of course, recently they were introduced in India, and the government of India has have, sold the band spectrum to companies like Jio and Airtel to offer 5G services. With this, I conclude the session, and thank you for listening, bearing with me, and we'll bye. See you.